Most people do not stay broke because they are lazy. They stay broke because they lose the morning before the day even begins. By the time they wake up, the pressure is already waiting. The bills, the notifications, the rushing, the stress. And from that moment on, they are not leading their life, they are reacting to it. But wealthy people live differently. They do not give their mornings away. They do not let chaos speak first. They wake up early, get quiet, get clear, and move before the world starts pulling at them. That is the difference. Because there's a simple 5 a.m. routine that can change the way you think, change the way you move, and make it very hard to stay stuck financially. If you do it every day, your life will not stay the same. You wake up, and the first thing you do is check your phone. And instantly, your mind is full. Emails, bills, notifications, texts you forgot to reply to, rent coming up, groceries getting more expensive, gas prices, that job you need but do not love. Your day has not even fully started, but somehow you already feel behind. You've barely taken a breath, and life is already asking things from you. So now you are rushing. Rushing to get ready. Rushing to get to work. Rushing to answer people. Rushing to survive another day. And that is the part a lot of people do not realize. When your mornings always begin in stress, your whole life starts to feel like survival. You are not thinking long term. You are not making powerful decisions. You are just trying to get through the day without falling apart. Then the day ends. You come home tired, mentally drained, emotionally flat. You tell yourself you will work on your goals later. You tell yourself you will learn that skill later. You tell yourself you will build your future on the weekend, but when later comes, you have nothing left, and that is how people stay stuck for years. Not because they have no potential, not because they are incapable, but because life keeps taking their best energy before they ever get the chance to use it for themselves. This is why this is not really about waking up early. It is deeper than that. It is about owning the first hour of your life. It is about taking back the part of the day when your mind is still clear, your energy is still fresh, and the world has not fully started pulling on you yet. Because once you lose that first hour, it becomes easier to lose the rest of the day too. But when you protect it, when you use it with intention, something starts to change. You think better, you move better, you decide better, and those small daily decisions start shaping a completely different life. Because the first hour you controls the rest of your day. And when you control your days long enough, you stop living by default and you start building a life on purpose. Habit 1, silence before the world. The first thing that keeps most people stuck is noise. Not just noise around them, noise inside them. The moment they wake up, they grab their phone. They check messages, they check social media. They check what everyone else is doing. They check problems before they check themselves. And without realizing it, their mind is already crowded. They have not even had one clear thought of their own, but the world is already speaking into their head. That is dangerous, because when your mind is full of noise, you do not think with intention. You react, you rush, you absorb pressure. You make choices from stress instead of clarity. Wealthy people understand something most people ignore. They do not start their day with noise. They start their day with silence, before the phone, before the opinions, before the demands, before the world starts asking for their attention. They sit down, they breathe, they think, they become present. Sometimes it is 5 minutes, sometimes 10, sometimes longer. But the point is simple. They give themselves space before they give themselves away. And that changes everything, because you cannot build a clear life with a noisy mind. If your mornings are always chaotic, your decisions will be chaotic too. So the first habit is this: wake up, do not touch your phone, sit in silence, breathe deeply, and let your own mind speak first. That silence is not empty. It is where clarity begins. Habit 2, write your life down. The second habit is simple, but most people skip it. They wake up and move straight into the day without deciding what the day is actually about. So they live randomly. They handle whatever shows up. They chase whatever feels urgent. They move based on mood. They move based on pressure. They move based on what other people need. And that is why so many people feel busy, but still go nowhere. Because movement is not the same as direction. Wealthy people do not just think in their heads. They think on paper. They write things down. They write what matters. They write what they are building. They write what needs to happen today. They write their goals. They write their priorities. They write their money plans. Why? Because writing forces clarity. It is easy to feel like you have a plan in your head. But the moment you try to write it down, you find out whether it is real or not. A written goal is clearer. A written priority is stronger. A written money plan is harder to ignore. This is how you stop drifting through your life. Every morning at 5 a.m., take out a notebook and write 3 things. What you want. What matters today. What moves your life forward financially. It does not need to be complicated. You can write, my goal is to save $5,000. My priority today is to finish my portfolio. My financial move today is to study a skill for 30 minutes. That is enough. Because if it is not written, it is not real. And when you start writing your life down, you stop leaving your future to chance. Habit 3, Move your body, the third habit, has nothing to do with money on the surface, but it affects money more than people think. And that is your body. A lot of people are trying to build a better life from a tired body, a sluggish mind, and drained energy. Then they wonder why they procrastinate, why they feel unmotivated, why they keep choosing comfort over growth. But the truth is, low energy creates low quality decisions. When you're tired all the time, everything feels harder. It feels harder to think clearly, harder to stay disciplined, harder to be patient, harder to learn, harder to build. And when your energy is low, you are more likely to choose what feels easy in the moment instead of what pays off in the long term. That is why wealthy people respect energy. They understand that wealth does not just start in the bank, it starts in the body. Because your body affects your focus affects your decisions, and your decisions affect your income. So move your body early. Walk, stretch, do push-ups, go to the gym, wake your system up. You do not need a perfect workout plan. You just need movement. Something that tells your body, we are awake, we are alive, we are ready to lead this day. Your body fuels your decisions, and your decisions create your income. So do not treat movement like an extra. Treat it like part of your wealth routine. Habit 4, learn something that pays. The fourth habit is where the real shift starts to happen, because this is where you begin separating yourself from the version of you that stays stuck. Most people wake up and feed their mind with entertainment first. Scrolling, random videos, celebrity news, drama, memes, content that makes them feel busy but teaches them nothing. And that is how years disappear. Because every day they are consuming things that do not increase their value. Wealthy people do the opposite. They feed their mind with something useful first. They read, they listen, they study, they learn skills, they learn money, they learn how life works, they learn what gives them leverage, because they know something important. Your income rarely grows beyond your level of value. If you keep thinking the same, you will keep earning the same. If you keep consuming what everyone else consumes, you will keep living like everyone else lives. So every morning, learn something that can eventually pay you back. Read 10 pages of a useful book. Listen to a podcast about money, business, or mindset. Study a skill that can make you more valuable in the marketplace. Learn sales. Learn communication. Learn investing. Learn marketing. Learn something that increases your earning power. Even if it is just 15 or 20 minutes a day, it matters. Because that small daily learning compounds. And one day, what you know starts changing how you move, how you speak, how you solve problems, how you earn. If you do not learn more, you will not earn more. That is hard, but it is true. And the people who change their financial life usually change what they feed their mind first. Habit 5. Build before you work. This last habit might be the most powerful of them all. Because this is the habit that breaks the cycle. Most people give their best energy away too early. They wake up, rush into their day, and spend their sharpest hours working for survival. They build their employer's dream. They build the company's goals. They solve other people's problems. They give their best focus to what pays the bills today, but not what changes their future tomorrow. Then by evening, they finally try to work on themselves. But now they are exhausted. Their mind is tired. Their body is tired. Their patience is gone. Their willpower is low, so they tell themselves they will start tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes next week. And next week becomes next year. That is how people stay trapped. Not because they do not want more, but because they keep giving their best energy to everything except their own future. Wealthy people understand this. That is why they build before they work. Before the job. Before the commute. Before the meetings. Before the world starts pulling on them. They use that 5 a.m. hour to build something that belongs to them. A side hustle, a new skill, a business idea, a freelance service, a content platform, a product, an investment habit. Something, even if it is small. Because small done daily becomes big over time. This is how people slowly create options. This is how they stop depending on one paycheck forever. This is how they move from survival to strategy. And no, you do not need 3 perfect hours every morning. Even 30 minutes a day can change your entire life. 30 minutes a day spent building your own future is more powerful than waiting for the perfect time that never comes. Think about that. 30 minutes a day for 1 year is over 180 hours. That is enough time to learn a real skill, start a real platform, create real momentum, build something that did not exist before. That is why this habit matters so much. Because when you build before you work, you stop living only for today. You start creating a different tomorrow. And that is the point of this whole routine. It is not just to wake up early. It is to stop giving life your leftovers. It is to give your future your best. Waking up at 5 a.m. will not make you rich by itself. Just setting an alarm does not change your life. Just being awake earlier does not automatically change your finances. But who you become at 5 a.m., that is what changes everything. Because every time you wake up early with intention, you are training something deeper than a habit. You are training your identity. You become more disciplined. Not because discipline suddenly feels easy, but because you are teaching yourself to do what matters before you do what feels convenient. You become more intentional. You stop letting the day happen to you. You stop letting pressure lead you. You start choosing how your day begins, and that choice starts shaping how your life moves. You become more aware of your time, aware of your energy, aware of your habits, aware of how much of your life was being lost to distraction, survival, and delay. And that awareness is powerful. Because a lot of people stay stuck not because they are incapable, but because they are unconscious. They repeat the same mornings, the same habits, the same excuses, the same patterns, and then they wonder why life is not changing. But when you wake up at 5 a.m. and use that time well, something inside you begins to shift. While other people are reacting, you are building. While other people are rushing, you are focusing. While other people are giving their mind away, you are taking your power back. That is why this matters. You are not just changing your mornings. You are changing your identity. And once your identity changes, your decisions change. Once your decisions change, your results start to change too. So let's end with the real truth. Staying poor is not just about money. It is about patterns. The patterns that shape your focus. The patterns that shape your discipline. The patterns that shape what you do with your time, your energy, and your mind. And those patterns often repeat every single morning. That is why mornings matter so much. Because if you keep starting your days the same way, you will keep strengthening the same life. You do not need a perfect life to begin changing things. You do not need more motivation. You do not need the perfect opportunity. You do not need to have everything figured out. You need a controlled morning. That is where it starts. So start tomorrow, set your alarm for 5 a.m., wake up with intention, and take control of just one habit. Just one. Sit in silence, write your goals, move your body, learn something useful, build something small. Just pick one and do it again the next day. Because the people who escape struggle do not wait for opportunity. They create it before the world wakes up. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to The Wealth Mind to start thinking like the life you want.